Our topic for today is all about circles, central angles and arcs, sum of central angles, arc addition postulate, and degree measure of an arc. Our learning objectives are: first, derives inductively the relations among chords, arcs, central angles, and inscribed angles. Proves theorems related to chords, arcs, central angles, and inscribed angles. Central angles and arcs. Recall that central angle of a circle is an angle formed by two rays whose vertex is at the center of the circle. Each ray intersects the circle at a point dividing it into arcs. Look at the figure below. We can name the circle as Circle A. Then, we can see that there is a central angle. So, angle BAC or angle CAB is the central angle. This one. One arc is the curve containing the points BC. This one. May mabubuo na arc, that is arc BC or arc CB. There is also an arc or a curve containing points BDC. This one, BDC. You can name it as BDC or arc CDB. Sum of central angles. The sum of the measures of the central angles of a circle with no common interior points is 360 degrees. For example, this figure, there is an angle 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you're going to solve the sum of angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3 plus angle 4, the sum must be 360 degrees. Let us have an example. For example, the measure of angle 1 is 100 degrees. This one. The measure of angle 4 is 20 degrees. The measure of angle 3 is 80 degrees. What will be the measure of angle 2? To solve for the measure of angle 2, add first all the given. The sum of measure of angle 1 plus the sum of measure of angle 4 plus angle 3 or measure of angle 3 equals 360. If you're going to add, that will become 100 plus 20 plus 80 degrees. And the sum must be 360 degrees. 100 plus 20 plus 80, the sum is 200 equals 360 degrees. To find the measure of angle 2, subtract 360 degrees to 200 degrees. And the answer is 160 degrees. Therefore, the measure of angle 2 is 160 degrees. Arcs of a circle. Arc is a part of a circle. There are three kinds of an arc. First, the minor arc or arc of a circle that measures less than a semicircle. When we say semicircle, it is an arc with measure equal to 1/2 of the circumference of a circle. Meaning to say, you're going to divide the measure of an arc of a circle into two equal parts. Major arc is an arc of a circle that measures greater than a semicircle. Let us identify the arcs of a circle O and A. Minor arcs in a circle O are CN, that is arc CN or NC, arc NZ, or ZN. What are the semicircles in circle O? That is arc CZ or arc ZC, arc CNZ, CNZ, or arc ZNC. What are the major arcs in a given circle? Major arc is greater than the measure of a semicircle. So if we're going to cover this one, i-cover natin to, ang matitira ay ito. So that is arc CZN. Kung i-cover naman natin dito, itong NC, that is ZCN. CN. Or that is arc NZC or arc NCZ. Let us now find the minor arc in circle A. That is arc NE or arc EN, arc JE or EJ, arc NJ or JN. Next, semicircle. Obviously, wala tayong semicircle on circle A. Then, the major arc. So, if we're going to cover this one, ang matitira ay NJE, arc NJE or EJN. Kung ito naman ang i-cover natin, ang matitira ay ito. That is arc JNE or ENJ. Kung i-cover naman natin ay yung JN, that is NEJ, arc NEJ or arc JEN. Degree measure of an arc. Number 1. The degree measure of a minor arc is the measure of the central angle which intercepts the arc. Meaning to say, what will be the measure of the central angle that is also the measure of the arc. For example, in circle E, there is a central angle of GEO or OEG. For example, the measure of GEO is 118 degrees. Then, Therefore, arc GO or OG will be also 118 degrees. Again, what will be the measure of the central angle that is also the measure of the intercepted arc? Next, the degree measure of a major arc is equal to 360 degrees minus the measure of the minor arc with the same endpoint. Meaning to say, if we already know the measure of arc GO or OG, which is 118 degrees, and alam natin na ang total measure of a circle is 360 degrees, paano natin makukuha ang measure ng arc OMG or GMO, which is the major arc? So, you're going to subtract 360 degrees minus 118 degrees, and that will be the measure of arc GMO or OMG. And the answer is 242 degrees. Therefore, tong arc GMO or OMG, the measure of this one is 242 degrees. So this is 242 degrees. And yes, the measure of angle GEO, yung reflex angle, ay 242 degrees also. Applying number 1, wherein what will be the measure of the central angle, that is the measure of the intercepted arc. Last one, again in number 3, the degree measure of a semicircle is 180 degrees. So, kapag nakakita ng semicircle, automatically alam na agad na ang kanyang measure ay 180 degrees. Congruent circles and congruent arcs. We can say that congruent circles are circles with congruent radii. We can see in the figure that MA is a radius of circle A, and TH is a radius of circle T. If MA, radius MA is congruent to radius TH, therefore, we can now conclude that circle A is congruent to circle T. Walang pinagkaiba yan sa piso. So, yung lahat ng piso, if you're going to get the radius of them, no, they are all equal. So, congruent circles are circles with congruent radii. Pag pareho sila ng measure ng radius, automatically we can conclude that they are congruent circles. Next, congruent arcs are arcs of the same circle or of congruent circles with equal measures. For example, in circle I, arc TM is congruent to arc KS. If circle I is congruent to circle E, then we can now conclude that arc TM is congruent to arc NW, and arc KS is congruent to arc NW. For your references, you can use the Grade 10 Dep and LM module, Unit 2. and grade 10 pivot for A, LM quarter 2. And special credits to Slides Go for these slides or PowerPoint template.